Happy Thursday and welcome back to the Wolff Den presented by Win Again Academy. Check out Mark Moyer's events at winagainacademy.com. I'm Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine. Today we welcome Ringmaster Jeffrey to the Wolff Den. Jeffrey, how the hell are you?
I'm doing fantastic, my man. How you doing, Matt?
I'm excited. I'm going to Key West tomorrow morning. It's my happy place. And 2 days of sitting at the pool, drinking some drinks, having some good food, listening to some good music.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Man, it's a weird statement because it's actually not always 5 o'clock somewhere. Like if it's right now, it's 5:01 somewhere. So I don't know, but
that's true.
We'll go with it for the people in the audience who don't know who you are. Tell everyone a quick introduction, and then we'll get into it.
Absolutely, I am Ringmaster Jeffrey. I've been a broadcast engineer for 30 years. And I've built over 250 TV stations. I've built hundreds of production post facilities for my company, Advantage Video Systems. And in 2019, we started a new company called EsportsCircus, and we are exactly what it sounds like. We are a mobile esports circus that travels around the United States doing collegiate and amateur esports events all over the country.
So, and originally you were coming on here to promote an event. You guys had an event, which is what you guys do, right? You're traveling events, and unfortunately that had to be postponed. But you have some events coming up.
Absolutely.
This year, and then
so we're going to be down at Comic-Con in San Diego next month. We'll be down there doing a big event with a big rock concert. We'll be live streaming that rock concert out. You can, if you want to get more information on that, just email Jeff at esportscircus.com and we'll send you all the information on that event. We'll be in Ontario, California in February. We've got other dates. In Illinois, we'll be in two cities in Illinois. South of Chicago, we'll be in DuPage County, and then we'll also be in Farpoint. And then we're going to also be down in Daytona Beach, Florida, July 4th weekend. We're going to be in Rock Hill, South Carolina next October. We're going to hopefully go up to Washington State. We're just going to be in a whole. We have 6 or 7 events scheduled for next year, so we're rocking. You get more of them are all on esportscircus.com. Just go to esportscircus.com, click on the calendar. You'll see all our events scheduled here.
Obviously, you're an in-person event. We have COVID going on with the pandemic. Yeah. You started in 2019. How many events were you planning on doing in a non-COVID environment?
So we had 6 events scheduled for 2020. We did 2 events. One in January at the NAMM show, North American Music Merchants Show, which is the largest music conference in the United States. We had over 1,000 people play in tournaments with us. We had 10 times more come by and look at what we're doing, and we were involving how music and esports are combining, and we were showcasing that because in our philosophy, you can have music without games, but you can't have games without music. So we were showcasing that. We did an event in February. We had a lot of big people come in there. A lot of people came to our event, played in our tournaments. We had a great time. Our next event was March 31st. Boom, the cold came around. Somebody started sneezing. Someone else started sneezing. Next thing you know, we had to cancel our events. So we're coming back. We're planning on doing one in Rock Hill, South Carolina in October 15th, 16th, and 17th. But due to the pandemic, some of our staff coming down with it, the public coming down with it, this and that, some schools opting out, we had to postpone the event. So we're gonna postponing it. We're working with the teams out there to do a bunch of events. We're gonna do some online events. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about Esports Circus. I mean, we'll talk about Esports Circus and then also esports. I go to one of these events. What do I expect?
Well, our circus is a 3-ring circus. We have 3 parts to our circus. The first part is our public-facing event, which is an incredible opportunity for the public and schools to come in. We're going to involve 6 up to 16 colleges at our events, and we have a 3-day tournament. We have a Friday, which is what we call a free play day, which people come to our event for a lower price, come into our event, and just all day free play. We have laser tag, drone racing, console gaming, tabletop gaming, all kinds of games you can play, have fun, enjoy yourself. Then on Saturday, we start our tournaments. Usually we open up about 10 o'clock, and then the tournaments start about 11. We have our collegiate tournaments. We have that on a big stage. We have 16 colleges competing for prizes. And we also have a program where we share back. So the schools that come and compete with us and come to our tournaments can actually be a part of the thing and make money for their teams and schools by getting a rev share on ticket sales and sponsorships. We did an event in January. We had a school show up at our event. I handed them a check for $5,000 because they got a bunch of ticket sales and sponsorships for us. So we paid them for doing that, plus the prize of tournament. So, there's a lot of opportunities for them to make money, all that stuff. So we have the tournament there. The second ring to our thing is our education ring. When we're broadcast engineers, we're really good at broadcasting and understanding about broadcasting. And what we do is we take the students of the schools and we involve them in our things, whether it's the high school students or the college students, have them involved in our program and teach them about quality broadcasting. If they're going to go work for Blizzard or they're going to work for ESPN, they need to know certain technologies in the broadcasting industry. And we go and teach them all about that and train them about that, give them credits towards union credits or whatever they need to do to join the 600 or IATSE or SMPTE. We give free memberships to SMPTE, which is Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers, which is a great organization for your growing career in that industry. We do all that. And then that's our second thing. We also work with schools to help build out their arenas. So if schools want to build out their gaming arenas or real arenas or whatever they want to build out, we can show them the technology, keep them connected with the right people to do that, and help them expand what they're doing there. And then our third part of this thing is our broadcasting. There's 913 million YouTube channels on gaming, and there's like 94 million Twitch channels on gaming. But all these people are doing this are either doing product reviews, unboxing, documentaries, interview shows, and news shows and stuff like that. And I'm an influencer. But none of that stuff's really quality stuff that could go on to Netflix or HBO. And we're going to create solid quality broadcast technology shows that can be seen on Netflix or HBO or AMC or whatever the broadcasting technology is. And so we're going to do all that. And that's basically the synopsis of what the incredible esports circus is all about.
Yeah, so let's talk about esports because I'm not a gamer.
Yeah.
I used to play Madden, and I have NBA Jam and Golden Tee here. But what is esports? Because not all gaming is esports, but all esports is gaming. Is that correct?
Well, esports is electronic sports. So if you can play competitively, if you play a game competitively on the computer, it's an esport. Okay. And, you could play chess competitively, and that's an esports. Because if you play it online, you're playing chess online, that technically is an esport. You can play competitively chess. You could play, you don't have to play Rocket League, you can play League of Legends. But, if you play it competitively, that's an esport. And whether you're an amateur athlete, a collegiate athlete, or a professional athlete in this, it's the same thing. If you're a football guy and you go to this high school and you play high school football, and then you go to play college football and you go pro football, that's still football. It's still playing competitively. And the difference between football and esports, instead of playing soccer or playing Rocket League, it's the same thing, except you're in the computer environment and you're doing it in the computer. So esports is electronic sports. That's basically what it is.
It's been around forever. Like I said, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, I was playing Madden with my friends and having a good time. Now with the advent of internet and Wi-Fi, and you can play against anyone anywhere in the world. You don't even have to be in the same place, which is kind of incredible. The biggest esport, from what I hear, is Fortnite, right? But there's so many other sports that people.
Well, Fortnite's just one of them. Fortnite is, but it's not. Fortnite's not the biggest, actually.
No,
Fortnite
it's well known. Maybe well known.
It's very well known. There's a lot of people who play Fortnite. A lot of people play Valorant. A lot of people play CS:GO. A lot of people play Rocket League, which is this game behind me, which is basically soccer, but you're in an RC car and you just run around the soccer field. It's very cool. It's a great game. I'm a big guy. I love Magic the Gathering. I'm a big guy for Magic the Gathering. I play that on this computer as well. you could play a lot of different things. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to go into pinball arcades, or used to play Donkey Kong on the arcade systems, and we would compete with each other. Now, we didn't call it esports, but that's what it was. So, it wasn't a regulated thing. When I grew up, we had LAN parties. A bunch of computers networked together, and we played StarCraft and all that stuff. I mean, those were esports, even though we didn't call it esports. It was an esport.
Did you ever see the King of Kong, the documentary on? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I just wrote the same. Just as I was saying it, that's what she wrote. But if it's not, if it's not playing against someone at the same time, is that considered an esport? Because I'm playing Mario, I'm playing Kong, not against you necessarily. It's just on my score against your score.
So in Donkey Kong, you had two players you could play against each other, and then the arcade system that we played in when I was a kid, they put up a scoreboard up there, and he put the high scores up there, and we all competed against each other. So that's esports. That was an esport, even though we didn't call it esports. And then LAN parties were very, very big when I was a kid. We were computer geeks. One of the first LAN parties I used to play was StarCraft back in the day, and that was definitely an esport, even though we didn't call it. I mean, esports found its name, about 10 years ago, about 10, 12 years ago is where it really found its name, and it started in its infancy and growing in that aspect. But people have been playing competitive gaming for a long time. I mean, when I was a kid, I was king of the KISS of the KISS pinball machine. I could play that game like nobody else, and I got high scores on that game, and everyone thought I was great. So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of games you can do. Today, it's become a different kind of competitive, because you have this overseer viewer. I call it the God view. They call it Sky. There's different names for it, but and then you're able to play competitively in the schools, and different schools can play, and different pro teams can play, and it's become much better with the advent of today's bandwidth technology and how you can play globally.
How do you choose what games are going to be a tournament in your circus?
Well, when we go into a community, we look at what the colleges are playing there, and we say, okay, this is the game that's playing there. And we looked at, when we went to Rock Hill, we looked at the schools, and the two biggest games that were being played was League of Legends and Rocket League. And so we looked at that and said, okay, let's do a Rocket League, and we had a lot of schools, yeah, let's do it, because they all had, I mean, some had Valorant, some had this, some had that, but everyone had a Rocket League, and everyone had a League of Legends. So we were going to do both of those, and then we kind of, let's just do Rocket League, because I like Rocket League.
It looks cool. I never heard of it before, but it looks, I mean, I'd love to play soccer, driving around in a...
Yeah, it's great. It's fun. It's really a non-violent game to an extent. I mean, it's very, very nice. It's very cool, because no one dies. You just bump the soccer ball around, and it's a gigantic soccer ball, and you can go up the sides of the arena and fly, and you can, the cars have these jets, and you can do all kinds of things, and you can really get creative, and you can design your own car, and you put skins on your own car. The opportunities are totally really great, and like I said, it's virtually a non-violent game.
And now it's different. Like back when we were playing, everything was a console. But
yeah.
Now a console and a joystick. Now you don't even need that. And
you do have console. We have this. There's a switch right here. So this is a very cool system. The switch right here. You just have this, and you have your little controller, and you can attach the controller to this, and so console games are really good. We bring a lot of we do a lot of this. This is we do a Smash Brothers on this. It's very popular for the Switch. So we bring, when we go to tournaments, we bring about almost 80 Switches, 80 PS5s, 80 Xbox X's. We bring all those out, and we have different tournaments. We're planning in our February 1, we're going to have Smash Brothers. We're going to have Madden. We're going to have Tekken. We're going to have Magic the Gathering tabletop games. We're going to have a bunch of stuff that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, Brent wants to. He said it sounds like whirly ball. We actually played whirly ball for my brother in Chicago at my
Yeah,
brother's bachelor party, which was a lot of fun. But man, I walked out of that building very sore. I remember that, just like smashing people. Um, I actually, again, I used to play. I had Sega Genesis, and I had ColecoVision, and I had Atari, and then had Nintendo, and then got PlayStation to start. But things just got a lot more complicated, and for me, I became less interested as it became a lot more complicated. And then I got a point where I got PlayStation 2, and literally I didn't have a DVD player. I used my PlayStation 2 for my DVD player and watched more DVDs on there than I actually played games. I still think I probably have it here somewhere. But gaming it's the great thing about gaming is it's timeless and it's for all ages. I was at a bar in LA and they have them all over the place where there's just old school arcades around there. And then there's another bar here in South Florida where there's consoles and you can just go and play and have a drink and grab something to eat and hang out with your friends.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the great things about what the circus is all about, because a lot of communities don't necessarily have arenas around them or places for these kids to play. And so we come into a community and we bring the whole community together and do a big tournament, and all the kids who normally can't play, and even the adults. I mean, there's a report that just came out from Barron's, and the largest growing segment of esports is 31 to 49. So it's all ages, and we all play games. Everybody plays games. The Egyptians played games. It is timeless, and it's something that's very good, and it helps people. It degouses you. It brings you into it really helps the health of people too, because you're able to release that stress and release all that stuff that's stuck into your body and get it out there and do things. And esports can be very, very physical too. And people think, oh, you're just sitting in a chair, but you can be very physical, and it's also mind. You have to have a mindset, a strategy. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to? It's just like you really got to understand how to play this game and understand how to beat the other guy. And it's a very mind building exercise. And so it really has a lot of the same aspects of traditional sports are in esports. So it's a really creative, really wonderful thing.
Yeah, Brent, a big supporter of the show, has our friend Rick Daniels, who has a company called Ghost Punch Games, and they do a lot of, Ghost Punch?
Yeah.
So our friend Rick is the owner of Ghost Punch, and he's always talking about, it's crazy what are they going to come up with next? Because, at some point people are going to maybe get tired of playing Fortnite or Roblox or League of Legends, and then they got to come up with what the next new game is. Sports are easy, like literal sports like Madden. You can always come up with variations. I actually like the stuff like NBA Jam or Blitz, where you kind of have, it's a little bit different, a different take on the sport. But there's so many different types of games that you can do in sports. How did you get into gaming, by the way, other than just?
I've like I said, I've been in gaming since ever, and I love. I mean, I used to play D&D when I was a kid. I was a dungeon master and all that stuff, and I love, and I've always been involved in computers. I suffer from really, really bad dyslexia. I can't read or write very well at all. But I got into computers because it allowed me to really do things, and I excelled. I was a graphic designer, and then I was selling computers, and then I got into the motion picture industry and building video editing systems and stuff like that. But I've always loved computers. I've always loved gaming, and and I like I said, my company Advantage Video Systems has done a lot of business in the integration business, building the entertainment business. And I decided I wanted to get into this esports thing in 2019. I started the company with some associates of mine, and we just went all hog into this thing, and I've been embracing it ever since. And I'm a big Magic the Gathering. I love Magic the Gathering, which is a card-based game. Everyone, Bobby guys know these. These are the cards, and you battle them out with these cards. And you have fun with that. And I play Magic Gathering on the computer with Arena, and I do that. But I love all these games, and I love it. It's exciting for me and thrilling that I can be this. I mean, I'm not going to be the greatest player in the world because I'm probably too old. But it's just I love being a part of it. I love seeing these kids excel in this and the career opportunities into this. The other thing we're doing is we're getting into NFTs. A lot of the kids come to our events. They want to help build their NFT. We're creating a whole NFT network where we're going to help kids sell their digital art and digital stuff. Because when you have computers, these games, you have to create the art behind it. And so we're working that. So we're working with music, art, excelling in all these aspects. We're helping to expand the opportunities for kids to do that.
What's your best game?
I would probably say Magic the Gathering is my best game, but I'm really good at CS:GO. When I say really good, I'm good for something like this. Yeah. I get, but and I know I do Fortnite a lot, not a lot. That I love getting involved in, and also like other games like Minecraft. They say that's for little kids, but I love just getting lost in a world and just I have some stuff going off here, and I just can get into a Minecraft world and just build things. And and the level of stuff that you have to think about and all this stuff I love Minecraft. It's very cool.
My nephews, they play Minecraft and Roblox, and then my friend Frank, him and his son play Fortnite, and they're Fortnite crazy. They're just, it's to lock himself in the room for hours and hours of time, which I want to hit on in a second. Is Magic the Gathering, is that what's going on in Stranger Things? What game do they play in Stranger Things?
Stranger Things that's D&D.
D&D.
So
okay.
Stranger Things took place before there really was all this kind of gaming stuff. It took place, in the 70s, 80s, like that. So they played Dungeons and Dragons, which is basically you're a dungeon master. You say, hey, you're walking down a corridor. It's 10 feet wide. As far as you can see 60 feet down, and it's a stone corridor. And you're an elf, and you have infravision. You can see heat things. At the end of the corridor, you see a skeleton sitting against a wall with a sword in his hand. What do? And do you run up and bash the skeleton with your sword? Do you try to take the sword from the skeleton? Do you look for traps? Do you do this? There's a lot of opportunities. The skeleton can come alive, or the skeleton, or the sword can be cursed, or whoever touches the sword becomes the skeleton. There's a lot of things you can think about. Maybe there's a trap. Maybe this is that. So it could be a lot of things, and so that's the imagination. So the dungeon master lays out the story, and then you, as an adventurer, go down and take your place into the adventure.
And then Dragon's Lair kind of took that from playing to the video, right?
Right. Dragon's Lair was a video game back in the day, and you were a hero. You fought with us. You had your guy. You went on an adventure. Yeah.
It was like, what plays next? Like, if you pick this, turn to page 8, right? It's almost like the book, but you're kind of.
They had those too. I remember, there was lots of books where you read the book and you make a decision, and you go, if you make this decision, you go to page this. If you make this decision, you go to that.
So I want to talk a little bit about esports and maybe some of the other side of it that maybe it might not be as good. A couple of things come to mind. Anytime you're online doing this, the online bullying can occur, and there's been some, stories about probably some not so great things people are saying to each other. And then also, I'll point out a few things that I want to hear.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the inequality with women in esports, right? And then the last thing is having someone just always be inside and be able to be lost for hours and hours at a time, saying not to be outside and not to be able to be social. How healthy is that for people? So what do you say to those kind of
Well,
stories?
I'll take the last first. So it's actually very social because you're part of a big network that's a global network. And when I'm playing, like when I play Magic Arena or I'm playing Rocket League, I can play against people all over the world. I can play with someone in Korea, whatever, and I can get very social with these people. And I can go on the Discord servers and Twitch servers, and it can be very social and very interacting. So, and as far as like inequality, actually, esports is the equalizer, because with basketball, okay, the starting player for a Lakers player in Los Angeles, the starting player makes about $400,000 a year if you're a starting player with the Lakers. The highest paid woman basketball player makes about $100,000 a year. So there's a vast inequality in in sports, male sports and female sports. The women's soccer. These women are fantastic athletes, win huge prizes all over the world. And
I'm talking more about opportunity than finances.
Well, you see, in esports, it doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female, trans, gay, black, white, purple, orange. It doesn't matter. You're really geared upon how you are playing the sport and how you're doing that. So it's a true equalizer. No matter what you are, you can be that. Now, there are people who do like playing in a dorm, and the kids say things and they put over their mics. They say things that they should not say. Absolutely, that happens. But because you're dealing with people who are adolescents or growing or college students, and they will say things, and that's absolutely. And there's a huge part of these games that look for these people and say, "Hey, dude, don't say that, or you'll be kicked off." Yeah. And they kick people off for saying, there's a really low tolerance level with these game manufacturers. So the game manufacturers stepped up and said, "Listen, be responsible, or we'll kick you off the game." And it really makes the whole sport very good. And one thing about our events, when you're sitting in a dormitory and you're playing a game, yeah, something comes out of your mouth that shouldn't come out of your mouth. But when you're at our events and you have all these people around you, that makes you a lot more ethical in what you're doing. And so that's one great thing about our events, is that people come together as a community, and then everybody acts responsibly. Not 100% of the time.
No, it's online. I mean, there's bad behavior online everywhere. People hide behind the screen, and
esports is really regulated, and the game manufacturers keep that, and Twitch and all that stuff. They have moderators that do these things. You can't be on Twitch and be too bad, and because they'll kick you off, and you'll be banned. And people have been banned for life because they've acted irresponsibly. But when we have our events, because you're in an environment with lots of people, it automatically puts something into people's heads. Hey, I need to act responsibly and not say that to that person. So it really is our event. That's one of the reasons why our events is so great. It's because we bring the community together, and everybody has a great time, and everybody's friendly with everybody.
Yeah, esports, if you start thinking about in the last, 3 to 5 years, that has grown almost as much as anything else out there, from being in universities, having schools and programs and teams, and to getting coverage on ESPN and television, and then it's just now you got the intersection of entertainment and esports. You're doing concerts inside of these things, and
yeah, I mean, if you think about organizations like NASIF and NACE, who are some of these organizations that help colleges and high schools build their how the team runs and all that stuff. If you think about it, there are 8,500 colleges and higher learning institutions and trade tech schools in the United States. Right now, there's about 250 that give scholarships. You can go to college for free if you play esports well enough. There's like Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, they give full ride scholarships every year for their esports members. UC Irvine has scholarships for thousands and thousands of dollars. There's a lot of colleges that are giving scholarships to these kids to play, and so that's a great thing. And then you have like Harrisburg's a trade tech. They're like IT school, so they don't have the space to put a big giant football field around, at their college. And even if they did, most of their people are IT people, or they're skinny little Korean guys, or these, this guy and that guy, and they don't necessarily have, so they don't have set up to be a football team, but they can be an esports team. They can take a whole floor and make a whole esports environment out of it, and they can set up a gym, and they can set up a gaming lounge, and they can set up this and that, and you can really, if schools can have an esports where they couldn't have traditional sports, so it really helps schools. And there's so many colleges that are getting into this. Everybody's getting into this because colleges and schools care about three things. First of all, getting more kids into schools because they get more money when they get more kids into schools, and finding careers for these kids when they graduate, and then it not costing much of anything, So, the first two are easy. You have an esports thing, you're going to get more kids coming to your school because they want to be part of your esports program. So it's going to build your esports, your esports. It will help build your schools attendance because you'll have more kids coming to your school. And then the career opportunities in esports, whether it's being an esports psychologist, an esports coach, an esports nutritionist, an esports this, an esports that, just like you have a lot of career opportunities in traditional football, baseball, soccer, you have the same kind of opportunities in esports. Esports broadcasting is different than traditional sports in how you do things. So it's understanding these career opportunities are really cool, and it expands what they're doing. So, it's nothing but good. It's nothing but good.
Yeah, some of the arenas that some of the esports arenas out there are it's insane what they're.
The best one I know is in Florida. Full Sail University has the Armada, which is almost a 300 person arena where you can have people gather into those arena and watch their team go. And just like you have a traditional arena for other sports, they have an incredible arena out there. The Full Sail Armada, check them out. They're great people.
Yeah, what's the capacity for where you guys go on your events when you travel?
Yeah, we're about, like I said, we're about, about 300 people roughly, when we set up, and then we'll have online, we'll stream online as well, but in person is about 300 roughly, depending. We can go bigger than that, depending on where we do and what we do. But yeah.
What's the significance of being a circus? I mean, you could call it whatever you want. Obviously,
yeah.
I think it's entertaining.
I love the circus. I was always a fan of the circus when I was a kid. It's that magic and majesty of the circus. I feel when you walked into the circus, the smells, the environment, what it brought. I mean, when I was a kid walking in the circus, you always had a smile. Every time I say a circus to anybody, the first thing that comes in is a good smile, and that's what I like. People to smile. I like people to be happy. And so we took the concept of the circus, the idea of the circus, and sent the lions and elephants back to Africa. They'd roam, be happy, and just filled it with the great things that esports and robotics and virtual reality and drone racing and laser tag and all the fun things that people love to do. And also let the community come in and be a part of it. Let them have, let the local businesses come in and have booths at our event and build their things. And we bring heads into beds because people come from out of the community into the communities we go into, and they stay in hotels and all this stuff. And so it's a boom to the local economies. It's a great thing for everybody.
Yeah, it's and the actual circus just ended a few years ago, right? It was.
Well, there still are circuses, but they're not like they were. I mean, they're more like a trapeze artist and jumping around and this and that. And there's but the circus says the Ringling Barn Bellies and Circus Vargas, with all that doesn't exist anymore. But we wanted to take the idea, the concept of the circus, and turn it up to 2.0. So we're Circus 2.0.
Yeah, The Greatest Showman was such a great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's just a great story, and just you just feel it's just exciting. It's fun, and it really does a good job of telling the story. Now you go to Vegas and you go to see stuff like Cirque du Soleil. I love the show Absinthe, which is kind of part circus, part naughty joke, whatever it is. Brent says the Ringling Museum in Sarasota. Never been there, but
Yeah.
we should give it
Well,
a.
there's a clown school down in Florida. Ringham Barnum Bailey's has still their clown school that they've kept, that is still there, and so you can go and become a clown. There's a circus training thing out here in Los Angeles. We partner actually with a company that rents. So if you go to my website esportscircus.com and you look down, you'll see a circus tent. We actually have that circus tent belongs to one of the companies that we work with. And they're a bunch of really wonderful old circus folks, and they have that circus. They have all these accoutrements to the circus, all the little props and stuff like that. And so we work with them, and and we have friends who are artists, who do ballets with in the rings and this and that. And so we have a lot of friends. We can do those kind of things. We're friends with magicians and clowns and all that stuff. So yeah.
What does your tour look like? Do you guys drive everywhere? Do you fly stuff? How long does it take to set
We
up?
do all that. We ship some things, of course. We partner with local esports, gaming people in the area. So when we go to an area, we look for, hey, who's in this area who's into gaming, and and stuff like that. And then we partner with those people and bring them in and let them share in our revenues and let them take the ball and run a lot of stuff. And then we bring a lot of stuff with us. So we drive things out there, we ship things out there, and we show up in a community. We pop up with this event either on school grounds, or at an arena, or we can pop up anywhere, and then we pop up. It's about a week for everything. We're about 3 days build, a 3-day event, a 2-day teardown, and then when we leave, nothing but wagon tracks and popcorn.
How many people are involved in this?
Probably about 100 people. Probably, I mean, all good, maybe a little less, depending on the event, how big it is. But I mean, our arena is going to be about 300 people. Then we're going to have different tournaments. Like, we had, if we do a Smash, we'll get 300 to 500 people in a Smash. We do a Tekken, we'll get another 300 to 500 people in that. We'll do a Magic Gathering, probably another 150, 200 people on that one. So we can have over 1,000 people, 1,500 people at an event. When we do a really good event, and no problem, maybe more.
And what do you guys do in the rest of the year? I mean, you're talking about a week each, 6 events. So
yeah, I mean,
what does the rest of the year look like for you?
Planning for the next event. It takes a lot of work to plan for these events. We do that. We also have a lot of projects. Like I said, we're broadcast engineers. We built studios. We've built some of the biggest studios in Hollywood. We build out companies. One of my favorite clients is Asylum Entertainment. They're known for Sharknado. We built all their editing bays, all their broadcasting, all their other film stuff. A lot of their visual effects systems, all that stuff. Actually, all their visual effects systems, and so we designed all the stuff for them. So we build stuff like that all the time, every day. We do rentals on camera systems, so we do all that. And we do it. We sell stuff, camera systems and all that stuff. So yeah, we have fun.
Fun is good.
Yeah, Blackmagic 6K camera. They have these, so it's, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but this is your full-time gig. You've stopped with the production and the.
No, we don't stop anything. We do a lot. We still do the production, still do all that stuff, still sell stuff, still do all that stuff. And AdvantageVideoSystems.com, you can go to that, look at all that stuff. We still do that, but we're concentrating. We're doing mostly the esports circus and really building out that arena whole thing, and then working with schools to help build their infrastructures. We're working right now with a huge, big broadcasting infrastructure for Cal State Dominguez Hills. We're going to do that for them. We're going to do a lot of stuff. We're going to do some virtual reality stuff for them. We're doing a lot of fun stuff.
And what's the next big thing for esports?
I think the next big thing is changing how, there's 2 areas. The pro industry, I think, is going to change in how they all come together. I think there's going to be some consolidation and there's going to be a lot of better organizational stuff in that, and a lot stronger. In the collegiate, I think people are going to schools are going to start really building out these arenas. There's going to be a lot more schools expanding into it, and I think they're going to build out arenas. I think they're going to build like the Full Sail Arena. I think a lot of schools are going to see that because they need to bring their alumni and their people into these events, and it's hard to bring them into an event if you just have a bunch of computers sitting on tables next. We think that one of the things we work with, one of our partners is a company called IHSE. It's a distance-based KVM system where all the computers are secured in either a server room or a rack cabinet in the gaming system, and that way enables you to secure the computers so people can't violently damage the computers, people can't steal things from them, people can't load malware on them. They're really, and if a computer breaks down, I can have a new computer up in 3 seconds. So it's a lot better workflow. I think teaching schools how to do much better workflows and really getting into investing in real broadcasting systems are going to be what's going to happen in the future.
What's the biggest misconception about esports? Is it just that it's the age group, that it's only for kids? I mean, is that it?
That's definitely one of them because everybody plays esports. I think that, like I said, the fast growing, but I think the biggest conception is that it's dangerous. A lot of adults say, "Oh my God, my kids are going to get." I mean, when I was a kid, my mom says, "Oh, get off the computer; it's going to damage your brain." It really doesn't. It really has a lot, or that it's not really a sport. A lot of people say esports, it's just computer gaming. It's not really a sport. It really is a sport because it has this, you have a team strategy and you have to build your team strategy. You have to build your gameplay. You have to build your defense and your offense. And it's just like regular sports, and it has all that thing. So it is a sport. It is for everybody. And, and it's a true equality maker. Women, men, anybody can make the same amount of money, doing the same sport, and everybody can have fun.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't consider them sports. I consider them competitions. There's not really a big difference. It's if you want to call it a sport or call it a competition. I think they both involve a lot of the same things. It doesn't really matter what you call it. But it's obviously you're competing at a high level, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You're competing at a high level. And when you think about it, to be able to get to that high level is not that much different than the professional athletes who are like, if 1% of the population is going to end up being able to do this, where this is their career, and they really, make a huge amount of money for it. And you could say you're the best of the best. I'm assuming it's going to be in the Olympics at some point in the not so near future.
I think it will be too. It was supposed to be coming up, but the pandemic was kind of put off. But I think it definitely will be. If not, actually, it'll be surrounding the Olympics. So in the next Olympic, I think you're going to see a lot of esports around them. Just like when FIFA was down in Brazil, we were down there with them, and there was a lot of esports in the communities around the FIFA arenas. So, I think it's going to be similar to that, but it's really, the mind stuff you have to put attention, you have to put in mind is, similar to what I would say in shooting or archery or any of that stuff. You really have to have those are considered sports, but they're, you don't have to be LeBron running up and down a basketball court to be an athlete. You can definitely have the same skill sets, the same defense and offense and all that stuff that you have in traditional sports. So many of them are in esports.
I mean, let's talk about poker, right? I mean, you're sitting at a tournament for 8 hours. Your brain's got to be good, because if your brain's not working, there's barely any breaks. And I mean, so there's a lot of that involved, right, with the esports type stuff that's going on. Brent has seen the show enough to know that this is going to be a question of mine. So what's your Mount Rushmore of video games? You could give me your 4 favorite ever.
My 4 favorite ever. Well, Magic the Gathering. I would say
Is Magic the Gathering is a video game, or it's just a?
Well, it's a couple of things. So it is on the computer. So it's on the computer. It's called Magic the Gathering Arena, and you play it on the thing. And then it's also a card-based game. So this
Right,
is
I know
a
the
Magic
card.
Gathering. There's a mapping deck, and you have these little spell cards,
Yeah,
and you run these, and they have all this stuff. But so it's a card-based game, just like Pokemon or something like that.
yeah.
And you have that. So Magic Gathering is there. I would say I'm a Valorant guy. I am. I'm Fortnite. And I would say Minecraft. Even though a lot of people think it's for kids, I just love to get lost in that stuff. Man, it's great.
Do you know the secret code to Contra?
It's a secret, though.
No, that was a big thing back in the day. You get unlimited lives. Up, down, down, left, right, BA, start.
Yeah,
they make T-shirts with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love old school. I mean, I have Brent's putting them all on here, but I have a console that has Tecmo and Tyson's Punch Out. I used to play Madden a lot. I just love. I love video games.
I'm a Tekken guy too. I love Tekken. I like Tekken more like Smash. Smash Brothers is probably one of the biggest of the fighting, but Smash is probably the biggest for the fighting games. But I like Tekken because I love the graphics and animation of of the characters you have in there. Tekken's like a great game. I love that, and but, I don't have the finger skills to really, get into do that game very well. But I'm really, I'm good at a lot of these things. I can get into any of these games,
Yeah, why there is? I mean, violence and sex. That's what sells. So I understand why.
These games, even when you look at a game like Fortnite or CS:GO, and it has people shooting each other, that's true. That is that, but it's not violence. It's a different kind of violence, and so yeah, it is that way. But if you, like I said, you don't want to be violent, there's nothing violent about this game right here. It's just you're in a radio controlled car and you're playing soccer. It's not violent at all. There's lots of games like that are not violent, in how it is. Madden is not violent, except and 2K is not violent. FIFA is not violent. There's a lot of non-violent games that you can play that are great. And that's a problem that comes up with a lot of the Christian schools. Christian colleges, Christian universities are all about. A lot of them are playing esports, and they're saying, well, we don't want to have a game where a guy dresses as a demon, and we don't want to have a game where people shoot each other in the back of the head. So a lot of them are branching into these kind of games, and these are great games.
There's levels of violence. So I agree with that. You look at a Fortnite; it's like a cartoonish violence where you shoot and the person just dies. It's not like there's blood and gore everywhere. I mean, I saw a movie called Kate on Netflix with Woody Harrelson, and man, it was gory and just like
these games are a lot less violent than watching Saw. Yeah. Some of the stuff on TV you watch, I mean, that's just very, you watch a movie that's very, very violent. But violence is all. People say, oh, people have been having that argument forever. When I was a kid, people said, oh, Twisted Sister is so violent. Now Twisted Sister is like baby school. They said, when I was a kid, I loved the Grateful Dead. I was a big Deadhead, baby. And it was like, oh, those Deadhead people, all they are is acid trip hippies, or and they're all teaching people. No, they're not.
People are going to find this stuff anyway. It's not like it's so easy to find. So I certainly agree with that. For people who are going to watch this and they've never played esports in their life. I mean, they might have played Madden, but they'd like to get into the esports in the world of the games that you're kind of talking about. What would you say is the easiest beginner level to kind of get your feet wet?
Any of them are, because you can get on there and you can play online and you can start at a low level, and you can go on your phone. You can go on your phone right here, and there's mobile gaming is some of the biggest out there. Tower defense games. There's our great Clash of Clans, Raw. Eye of Ra is a really. So tower defense games, you have your tower, somebody else has their tower. You send your armies out, they send their armies out. You battle it up, and whoever's the first one to kill the other army is great. I mean, there's a lot of games you can play on a mobile device. That's great, and mobile devices are super great places to get started on. You can get you can buy a little console system like this, $300 for this, and you can get some games on this, and they're great. This allows you to take this and put the little joystick on your little thing. You don't have to use it with. You can use it with this, or you can put these on here. That's a good place to get started, or just go on. I mean, it's like play chess if
I'm talking about more like, if you want to just dive in, is it Fortnite? Is it League of Legends?
I would just try a couple of them. I would try things until you find the one that's magically makes you happy and go with that one, because it's not one game for everybody. It's different games. People have different interests. If you like soccer, go to FIFA or go to Rocket League. If you like playing basketball, maybe you love 2K. It's just a matter of what gives you. If you like action games, Fortnite is very easy to play.
Is there a fishing game? My friend wants to know if there's an esport fishing. I know there is for hunting.
Yeah, there actually is, and actually are a couple of them. My favorite fishing one is actually a virtual reality one. I have these virtual reality headsets, and we do that, and you can do that. But there are definitely fishing ones out there. There's a fly fishing one out there that's pretty cool. It's pretty popular. If you can think of a sport, there's an esport for it.
Yeah. And you're being the ringmaster. Are you the ringmaster on site, or are you just kind of behind the scenes?
No, I go on site to my events. I'm the ringmaster. I'm the guy who runs the event. I do all those things. I am definitely the ringmaster.
Did you do any training? How'd you learn to become a ringmaster?
How does anybody learn to become a ringmaster? You do it by doing it, baby. How do you learn anything? You get out there and you say, I get up on stage and it's being a ringmaster is about entertaining the public, getting out there, being the MC, putting the whole thing together, mastering all the rings of your circus. So I get out there and I get people excited about the drone racing, and we have drone racing, and then I get people excited about the laser tag, and we do laser tag, and just really in making sure the whole system is and everyone is running and everybody's having a great time and being out there. And I dress in costumes. I don't just wear a top hat. I actually have a full ringmaster costume. I have. It's great.
Are you looking at getting your own Zac Efron?
Thereabouts. Yeah.
All right. Someday. Well, we're going to let you out of here on the same question we let everyone go with. You could spend a day with anyone in the world. They have to be alive. You can't be related to them. We've done outreach. We're going to continue to do outreach, put it on a list, and try and make it happen for all of our guests. Who would you love to spend a day with, and what are you guys going to do?
That person I've already spent the day with, and it's the Dalai Lama. When he came out to LA, we helped live stream him out here when he came to Win Adventure and stuff like that. And I am so impressed with them. There's certain people in all history that are just game changers. Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Kennedy. There are certain people who throughout history have been people who have really changed the games and kicked it up. The Dalai Lama is a truly spiritual, wonderful person. First time I met him, he walked up to me. I walked up to him. He smiled at me. I smiled at him. He started laughing. I started laughing. 15 minutes later, I was still laughing. We had laughed, and that was the end of our first meeting. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. I would love to spend a whole day just being in his presence and enjoying the wonderfulness and the aura that this man gives out to everybody, and the love that he has for the world.
All right, the Dalai Lama. Well, that might be the most interesting choice that we've had so far. Certainly a great choice. I'd love to hang out with the Dalai Lama as well. It'd be a great day.
It would be. It would be. He's a truly magical man. He's just, you know.
Great. Well, how can people reach you? We got some stuff at the
Absolutely.
bottom.
We put all my Twitters and LinkedIn and all that down there. esportscircus.com. Email is Jeff@esportscircus, Jeff@esportscircus.com. Reach me there. Give me a call at 800-287-5095. It's 800-287-5095. Reach out to me in any way you want. I'm out here. Just Esports Circus on anywhere you'll find me.
Well, I love the combination. Esports, entertainment, they're all together. I think circus, whether it's circus or a concert, the drone racing, which is great. I know there's a whole drone league, right? And tag, there's a whole tag league out there. They're going to be on ESPN. So I think what you're doing is great, and it's going to take off. We look forward to following you and hopefully getting involved in some form or fashion. But check out esportscircus.com for more information on all the events. Really appreciate you coming. We got some really, really good guests on the Wolff Den next week, so stay tuned and for more information on that. Otherwise, I'm headed to Key West tomorrow, so no Wolff Den for me. Everybody have a great weekend. Be kind, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
See you next time, man. All right.